YouTube, back at you guys again with another video. In this video, we're gonna just do some protection stuff. Why is that kickstand down? We're gonna add some protection to the bike. So real quick, I did order a set of race rails for the bike. I think it's gonna look a lot better than these frame sliders. Another thing too, frame sliders, man, if the bike ever goes down and they get hooked into something, that bike is gonna dance. So instead of having these frame sliders that are really not for this bike and they stick out a whole lot, let me show you what I mean. So, all right, the one thing that I kind of don't like about these frame sliders is that this one sticks out really far, and this does not look like it'll withstand a drop, especially if the bike is moving. I'm a little worried about that frame slider. That can cause a lot of problems for the frame and the engine bolt, which is right there, if the bike were to go down. It doesn't seem like it's secure. If it hits something, like let's say for instance something that's solid to the ground, like those little things, like you know how when you're driving it go do 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 do. If this hits one of those, it can literally break this off, the bolt inside of the engine case itself, and it can even break the motor. That's scary to me. Well, I mean, going down is going down, but that sounds pretty tough. So what I did was I placed an order for some engine covers, which we're gonna install in this video today, and I also placed an order for some frame sliders. Some race rails. And the race rails, I think, is a little bit more secure because they actually bolt to the frame itself, and they stick out just enough to where if the bike were to go down, it'll protect the bike, or the fairings and things like that, the motor, the fairings, the parts that are important. Not to say that at my age, if I was to go down, I want to get up and, you know, ride back home or anything, but today's video, what we're going to do is we're going to install some engine covers. All right, so when we take off the frame sliders, we're going to install some engine covers. Now, I got these off of eBay. It says GB Racing. These are not the authentic GB Racing engine covers, but I mean, to a person that don't know, you have no idea. But the thing is, the only reason why I'm getting these and I care about them is because they actually protect the engine itself, the engine cases. It did come with a set of 3. I will leave a link in the description of where I got these, so just take a look down there and you'll see the link. I got them off of eBay, so if you want a set of these, that's where you can get them. They're fairly priced in my opinion. So I'm gonna just install these. I have the bolts for the engine itself. Once I take the frame sliders off, I'm gonna put a little bit of that blue Loctite on here just in case. But yeah, let's install these parts on the bike real quick and make this a very short video. All right, so this one here looks like it's designed to be on the bike, but if you really look, like in this area here, there's like a little space, like a gap, like it don't go here. And I don't know what that's about. So, but these are for the ZX6R, not for the ZX10. So I'm gonna knock these off real quick. The Allen head size is a T50. Let me take these off and go from there. I can't do it one hand. All right, guys, we're getting there. So this one's off, and this one's still on. So let me take this one off real quick, and then go on to the other side. All right, so real quick, to take this off, you just need a number 8. Right there. I don't know if it's gonna come in. Right there, number 8. All right, so real quick, as you're installing these, so you don't end up messing something up, what I normally do, you don't have to do this, is I usually just put it on the bike and just see what bolts and what I have to take off. So if you put it on, it's not all of them that you're gonna remove. You see what I'm saying? So let me take it off so you can kind of get a better picture. So you see how it goes onto the bike? So if you do it like this, you'll know, okay, I only gotta take off 4. And also, I mean, in the package, it comes with 4 bolts. So you're like, wait, hold up, there's 6 here, what's going on? If you just put it on the bike, you have an idea where they go. All right, one more thing too. Because this is like hard plastic, I think that's what it's called. It comes with these spacers and washers, right? So the way these work, the thin part of the spacer goes on the bike, the wide part goes on the back side of this, and then this washer that's on here is gonna hold this in place so it doesn't move. I hope I'm making sense. But the way it's supposed to go is like this. So it's the spacer, washer, and then the nut, and it all goes on one side, and then this is how it fits. So if you look at the end right there, see how it's flushed? It's flushed like that because that's how it's supposed to go. My God, this is the right way to install it. I'm gonna try to put this towards the beginning of the video so that when you're installing this on the bike, it makes more sense. And yeah, I'm gonna put these on the bike. So I'm doing a lot of talking and no working. So let me just knock these off the bike real quick and I'm gonna install them after I put some Loctite on the bolts. But these are already loose, so they can just pretty much twist out. There's 4 of them. They're all pretty much the same length. All of these bolts are the same length. None of them are shorter, none of them are longer. So there's not like a particular order that they have to go in. But let me just take these off real quick and then I'll put the GB Racing case cover on. Oh, okay, that's not far. Let's take this one off too. And like I always preach, fellas, ladies, hang on to your OEM parts. Like if I would have put the ZX10R frame slot on the bike and I got rid of these bolts, I would not have been able to do this today. You know what I mean? I'd have still had to keep those frame sliders because those are the only bolts I had. Alright, so that's it. It's on the bike. It's not going nowhere. Let me do this one now. Alright, so same thing like this one, we're going to do on this one. So what you're going to do, I've already taken out this one, which is loose, and the one that's here, which is loose, so I can kind of pull this forward to get access to every single one, which is perfect. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to slide this in and see where these line up. And once I know where they line up, I know what to take off. So this doesn't clearly say the right thing, so I'm going to twist it some more. Need 2 hands, and this is where it lines up. So the one I have to take off is this one, the one at the bottom, that one, and the last one at the top up here, which is that one. It's right next to the radiator hose, the return hose, so that one. So 1, 2, and then 3. In my mind, I already know where they are. So I'm just gonna loosen those 3. You don't have to worry about the other ones because you don't have to mess your stuff up. And I'm gonna put all this back together and it's gonna say GB Racing on both. So let me take those 3 out, put the new ones on. I'm trying to make really good footage here, but man, this was the hardest to put on so far, especially with the fairing in the way. Oh, it's a nightmare. When you're putting this one on, I think it'll be a lot easier to just take the fairing off. Because for one, this bolt here is hard, but it's not that hard. Once I get rid of my O2 sensor, I have a little more space because right now this hose is actually being crushed. Not too much, but it's a little pinched. Once I get rid of that O2 sensor, I have more room on the other side. I was going to switch places with the other 2, but I didn't want to take my fairings off. I don't think it's crushed enough to where it's going to cause any damage to the bike. It's just an overflow for the fuel evap system. So that's not going to affect anything. But the one that's up here at the top is a no. Just trust me when I tell you, you might end up having to take the fairing off. Especially if you don't want to break any of the plastics. I had to use like a little piece of screwdriver to hold it away from the motor itself, just to get that bolt off and then put it back on. Those spacers is even worse. To put the spacer and the washer and the bolt all in at the same time on that one, you're gonna lose weight. So whatever, I didn't record it, but I did it. Trust me, I did it. All right, so now let's go over to the other side. The other sides will be a lot easier because it's exposed like this one. So if we come over to this side, I'll show you what I mean. This is the last one here. There is really nothing in the way, so this one should be a lot quicker and faster to put on. The thing about this one though, this is the one that's actually on the low side because of the kickstand, so people won't really see this side. I just know that I have the protection in case the bike ever goes down on this side. So let me go grab that piece real quick and let's keep going. Same thing like the last side. You grab the cover, you act as if you're going to put it on, kind of have an idea which ones you're going to take off. You're only taking off 4. Is the 2 at the bottom, this one that's closer to that sensor, this one that's closer to the sensor, and then this one that's along the line of this. So those are the 4. So now I know what 4 I'm going to take off. Let me knock those off real quick. Alright, so now that I got those bolts out, I got my blue Loctite on, out the way. You know what I mean? I like how the texture of this is the same texture as this. Like the textures match. It's pretty cool. Alright, I need 2 hands because I need one to hold this in place and the other one to put the bolt in. So I'll be right back. Alright guys, I did a little bit of research. I feel like an idiot. Nobody was going to tell me this in the description below or the comments. The way it's supposed to go Wow, it's not a it's a spacer. Okay, it's a spacer. But this, if you look at it, it's cone shaped. It's supposed to go inside of here so that you don't over tighten the plastic and make it stretch. It keeps its form inside of there so that when it's on the bike, it's snug to the plastic, to the case. So I got to take the other two sides off. It was a nightmare to set up that way. Whatever, I'm going to get it done right. All right, just to recap, is the spacer, washer, nut, they're supposed to be right up against each other. That space in between the two, not supposed to exist. I did that side, and I just got done doing this side. I had to take the fairing off, so this is a lot later in the day, but whatever, the video is done. So I want to thank you guys for watching this case cover install on the ZX10R 2022. Hope that you guys have a wonderful